Hello, my name's Clare from Conscious Chemo. Here I am in the Lake District with the most amazing views in between my 14th and 15th round of chemotherapy-based treatment for a stage 3 aggressive HER2 positive breast cancer last year. It's a full moon today, and it got me thinking about the cycles of chemotherapy in relationship to the cycle that the moon goes through. And of course, there's lots of different cycles, both within us and without us. Our heartbeats, our breath, the seasons, everything has a cycle of a renewing and is in a constant state of flux and a constant state of ebb and flow. And so everything's open to change, to movement and fluidity. And I think we can use that as a way of feeling encouraged during our chemotherapy treatments. So my cycles were every 3 weeks, or are every 3 weeks. For others, it might be every 1 week, 2 weeks, it will vary. But if you think about what's going on in your own cycle, and of course, menstruation for women is another classic example, you can start to notice some patterns and some rhythms that might be helpful for you managing the process. And also just allowing one cycle at a time. So not thinking ahead too far, taking one thing at a time. Some of the patterns that I found helpful were, building up to a round. I would normally feel very good. So I would take that opportunity to perhaps get anything done so I could have more rest the first week after my treatment. This is during the high dose treatment. I was super healthy. That's when I would juice more. I'd be on full amount of supplements. I would be preparing my body, my liver, keeping it as clean as possible so it could metabolize the chemotherapy really well, and being very positive in my mindset. And then I would do some kind of liquid fasting or just fruit and veg, super healthy, the day before, the day of, and the day after treatment. If you want to go all out, I'd highly recommend water fasting for those 3 days. And then my body would want more substance. So the first week of my cycle, I would make sure I didn't have to do anything. It didn't mean I didn't. I often would. I'd still do some emails and bits and pieces. But I would have time to listen to my body, rest when I felt I needed to. But I still kept some rhythm within that. I was getting up early and going for dips in the sea. But I would be able to slow down. And I gave myself permission to slow down. And I think that's really important. I mean, we all have this mentality in the Western society to rush and do and fill time. And I really stepped back from that. And I know that made a huge difference to how I felt. So lots of rest, lots of meditation, lots of yoga nidras. You can go on Spotify, there's yoga nidras on there, there's meditations on there, there's lots on YouTube. So that would be during my first cycle, and my body wanted more substance then, so I would have things like sourdough bread, poached eggs, spinach, tomatoes. I'd oven bake everything. I was trying not to fry anything. My body craved vegetables, lots of sprouts, cauliflower, broccoli, loads of sweet potato, lots of stews actually. Bean stew was really good. So still very, very plant-based, but more substance. And I came off juices during the first week. Then in my second week, I would return perhaps more to the regular diet that I was on before. My energy levels would start to lift. It was different for each cycle, but I definitely had more energy second week and then more energy again during my third week. I mean, for most cycles, I'd feel pretty much back to normal within 10 days of every cycle. And each round was different. It wasn't a progressive getting worse for each round, which I've heard about. There was just a few different things going on between each round. But I listened into my body for each one. And as I've said before, I navigated all my side effects naturally. So I didn't take any of the side effect medication. So really just an acknowledgement that you can tap into your own cycle, find your own rhythm, perhaps keep a diary of what's going on for you, and use that to maximise your experience during chemotherapy. And keep an open mind You know, we're all going to have our own experiences. That's the beauty of life. We're all different, but you can support yourself so much during this journey, and it will make a colossal difference to the way you feel. I believe it can make a colossal difference to the outcome, and to the effectiveness of the treatment itself as well. That's been my experience, and that's why I'm sharing these videos. So I hope that helps. I hope that gives you some inspiration, and just a reminder that everything is in a constant state of flux. One day at a time, everything passes, and wishing you all the best in your healing journey. Lots of love.